All right, let's jump right in. We're about to dive into a story that feels like something out of a thriller, a place where ancient poetry and, believe it or not, high-level mathematics crash into each other. We're going to decode a secret that's been hiding in plain sight for centuries.
So let me ask you something. What if the most sacred hymns, the ones chanted by millions and passed down for generations, what if they weren't just prayers? What if they were actually a kind of ancient hard drive? A human hard drive, designed to protect and store critical scientific data for thousands of years.
Okay, so take a look at this. On the surface, it's just a beautiful Sanskrit verse, a shloka, praising Lord Krishna. You know, it talks about the Gopis, paints this lovely picture of devotion. It's a hymn. Simple, right? But hidden deep inside its poetic structure is something absolutely astonishing.
Because when you apply a very specific ancient key to that verse, this is what pops out. That number, that's the value of pi divided by 10, and it's accurate to an incredible 31 decimal places. So the big question is, how on earth is that even possible?
Well, the secret is all thanks to this incredibly sophisticated alphanumeric cipher. And no, this isn't some random coincidence. It's the product of a truly brilliant system, one designed specifically to weave numbers into language that people could actually remember. So let's crack this thing open and see how it works.
The system is called the Kaṭapayādi system, and you can basically think of it as a form of ancient encryption. It was created as a form of mnemonic device, right? A clever way for scholars, mathematicians, astronomers, you name it, to encode these long, complicated numbers, like star positions or important dates, into words and verses that were super easy to remember and recite. So here's the core of it. The system maps every digit from 1 to 9 plus 0 to a whole group of Sanskrit consonants. So, for example, the number 1 could be ka, or ta, or pa, or ya. And this one-to-many mapping, that's the real genius here. It gave poets and scholars all this flexibility to pick and choose letters to build words that actually made sense and sounded beautiful. Okay, so how do we actually use this key to decode a verse? The rules are actually pretty simple. First, you look at each syllable. Then, you find the last consonant in that syllable and map it to its number. Any vowels that are just hanging out on their own? You just ignore them. And then, and this is the most important part, you take that whole long string of numbers you just made and you flip it. You reverse the whole thing.
Yeah, that last step is the golden rule of the whole system. There's even a Sanskrit phrase for it, aṅkānām vāmato gatiḥ. It literally means numbers go from right to left. This reversal is absolutely critical. You got to do it to get the right number. It's like the final turn of the key in the lock.
All right, let's actually do this. Let's go back to that Krishna verse. The very first syllable is go. The consonant sound there is ga. We look at our handy little chart, and yep, ga maps to the number 3. Simple as that. We have our first digit.
Okay, next up is P. The consonant is pa. Back to the chart, pa gives us the number 1. So now our sequence is 3, then 1. And the third syllable is pa. The consonant sound is pa. Let's do a quick check, and pa maps to the number 4. So now we've got 3, 1, 4. And I bet some of you are already seeing where this is headed.
3, 1, 4. Sound familiar? And get this, if you keep doing this for the entire verse, you get that giant 32-digit number we saw at the beginning. You just have to reverse it, put the decimal in the right place, and boom, the value of pi. It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
But this raises a much bigger question, right? It's not just about how they did this, it's about why. I mean, why go to all this trouble to embed a mathematical constant inside a prayer? The answer, it turns out, reveals a completely different way of looking at the world.
You see, for the ancient sages, the rishis, science and spirituality weren't two separate things. They were one and the same. They saw the fundamental laws of the universe, the mathematical constants that make everything work, as divine in themselves. So embedding these secrets of the universe into a hymn, it wasn't about hiding them. It was about honoring them, blending cold, hard facts with deep spiritual meaning.
And on a really practical level, just think about this as human wetware. I mean, data stored in our minds through poetry that we memorize. It's incredibly durable. It's decentralized. Unlike a hard drive that can crash or a file format that becomes obsolete in 10 years, a verse that people know by heart can survive for thousands of years. The poetic rhythm and meter even act as a kind of built-in error checker, making it harder to mess up.
What they did was they wrapped this fragile, volatile scientific data in the protective casing of poetry. This was a way to guarantee that even if wars came, floods, even the destruction of entire libraries, the knowledge would survive in the one place it was truly safe: the collective memory of the people. It's a seriously ingenious form of ancient information security.
But believe it or not, this story doesn't just end in the ancient past. The logic behind this whole system is so powerful, so robust, that it's actually finding a new life today, right in the heart of some of our most advanced technology.
Yeah, that's right. Researchers are now developing something they call the Kaṭapayādi Sankhya Sutra Extended, or the KTPY-E rule for short. And what is it? It's a modern encryption method that is directly inspired by the same cryptographic logic from the ancient cipher we just cracked. And its relevance today is just astounding. This ancient logic is being adapted to secure our modern world. We're talking about securing data on Internet of Things devices, creating better data compression, even developing brand new encryption algorithms. Think about that. The very same system that hid pi inside a prayer is now helping to protect our digital lives.
Now, don't worry about trying to understand every little detail in this diagram. That's not the point. The real takeaway here is just to see the sheer level of sophistication. What we're looking at is ancient linguistic logic being translated into the ones and zeros of modern cryptography. It's just proof that the core principles behind this system are genuinely timeless and incredibly powerful.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, if the value of pi, calculated to 31 decimal places, can be found just sitting there in a single hymn, what else is out there? What other universal secrets, what other scientific truths might still be hiding in plain sight, just waiting in ancient verses for someone to find the right key?